Oh friends, new turn report here. This is turn 51 and a lot of stuff, a lot of battles this turn. It's mostly golems that are teleporting around and Vanyals attacking or raiding, and a lot of them kind of end up looking like this. So I guess we can have a look at one of them, where there's a golem and a Vanyal with his weird setup. And he just jumps in, hits the golem once, and the Ring of Returning activates and sends him home. I think the issue is not casting the cheat fate early. Maybe I should not do like resist magic or something like that. Or maybe they shouldn't have a Ring of Returning ability. Yeah. So an Aureate can also do stuff. This is just swarm spam. Here we have a golem that actually wins a battle, so let's just see how that could happen. So this guy has a water elemental, which means that he doesn't have a Ring of Returning. So when the Vanyal jumps in, he is gonna hit him once, yeah, and then didn't get sent home. So that works, I guess. A golem taking some PD, Aureate taking some PD. Here we have an Aureate against a Vanyal, which ends up with us winning, and it's just kind of swarm locking him down until the water elemental arrives, and then eventually the water elementals kills him. It's with the 4 attacks. That's cool. Other than that, another golem being sent home. This is just an engineer walking into a province we didn't take. We have some Wind Riders against some PD. We have some big army against some PD. We have Cadesis walking out. And then the Vanheers that didn't die to our teleporting are continuing their raiding. So it's just raiding some different places. And then this one is the one interesting battle that we have. This is a big army. A lot of storm demons and a lot of Vanheers against our little friend with the very high combat speed. Unfortunately, this is in a swamp. Kind of sucks, but what can you do? So let's look at what happens. So obviously he's not doing any casting. He just jumps in immediately and starts hitting Storm Demons and Blood Slaves, unfortunately. But the Storm Demons are, funnily enough, demons, so we do extra damage on them. But they die quite quickly. Feels like I have sped it up because he's so fast, but it's just normal speed. Just like Fog Warriors, I guess. But don't really care when we have magical weapons. We're spending a lot of time on the slaves. Isn't great. And then he gets hit by, I think, a lightning bolt or something along those lines. 9. So it's the Storm Demon hitting the Wind Lord. Lock negate, otherwise fatal damage. So yeah, I guess the Storm Demons are hitting him. So I guess you can still get stunned. I guess they are doing lightning damage. I guess. Strange. But he's stunned, and then against with low, well, he's stunned. His defense is very low, minus 75%. Okay. Also has old age, I guess. Harass penalty down as well. So really low defense. Attack skill is still fine. Protection is still fine. But they probably have, well, sure. And then lightning bolts are coming in and eventually dies to whatever small stuff. So we lose that one. And our friend is finally dead. We ended up killing a few storm demons, which is alright, I guess. But I mean, I didn't really expect him to win against this. Also, I think a Hydro would kill him because he doesn't have any poison resistance. But this turn, there was nothing that stopped us from claiming the thrones. So we won. Yeah. We can watch the history. Our initial expansion was really bad. You see, we're kind of small, especially compared to someone. Actually, everyone else is kind of the same size. I guess it wasn't. Everyone was maybe struggling. And then we attacked Kailasa. And by now we are same size as the bigger players. And the game kind of stays in this state a lot for quite a while. Ross attacks up here at some point. Vernie attacks Lanka. By now we will be attacking Yomi. And now we have access to all the thrones that we needed. And this 4 here, 2 over here. That's the game. When I went for this throne rush, part of me kind of wanted Van and others to do more to stop it. I mean, he was on top of the castle by last turn, but he didn't even get through the wall, right? So I did have another turn as well. So it's not even, yeah, not even, I mean, I could also have been faster, so it wasn't even like that dangerous, to be honest. Something worth looking at is the graphs. So provinces we were ahead on before Van attacked. You see the swing here, it's him raiding us. But by this time it doesn't really matter how many provinces you have or not. It's kind of all of this where it matters, especially around the mid game. Sure. Also, obvious wars are here. Before we attacked Kailasa, we were kind of in the middle of the pack, which I thought we would be worse off than that. Maybe not. Well, I mean, okay, because it's around here where we were doing poorly, and then we had Wind Riders catch us back up. So after killing Kailasa, we were kind of continuously part of the game leaders, which is also how the game felt. That makes sense. For forts, doesn't really say much, but we were fine on forts the entire game. Income, it's mostly just reflecting how many provinces you have. Sure. Gem income, this is the global that we got that was dispelled. Interestingly, I think it's Ross, yeah, has quite a lot of good gems. I'm not sure what he used them for, but there's quite a few. I didn't see any globals from him or anything. So yeah, I don't know. This spike here is Mother Oak. So without Mother Oak, we are kind of not doing too well. We would be around where Russ is, I guess, through most of the game. Sure. Now, this is the interesting graph, research. We went quite heavy on research this game, which you kind of always should. This is game winning. But I had no idea how far ahead we were. Yeah, so no one else was really doing much research. And I kind of felt this in the spells that people were casting. But, I mean, this is quite bad, honestly. So, like, with this in mind, we probably would have been fine with the 1 versus 3. I mean, if we lost battles, it would be bad, but I think we would win most of them with this sort of research advantage. I never really had to use mages at any point in the game for battles. Kailasa fell without the use of mages to the golem. Yomi fell to, I mean, I didn't really have any real battles with Yomi, honestly. Inen did that for me, and Yomi just turtled up, so wasn't really much to worry about. But yeah, I actually haven't looked at who was it that were okay. It was Van, okay, Van and Russ, which I mean I expected that, I guess, but well, okay. Dominion doesn't really say anything. Interestingly, Maverny was actually quite high. I think that's Maverny. Yeah. Sure. Army size doesn't really say much either. Sure. That's an interesting. I think that's Yomi. Oh, not Yomi. Lenka. So this is probably the big stack that I saw. 600 units, I think. That we didn't get to see how died. Probably some trap of some sort. Yeah, sure. And then I guess Ascension Points doesn't really say anything. But yeah, it's kind of fun. I guess actually we can look at Hall of Fame. We ended up with our good old Windrider friend with the most kills in the Hall of Fame. We didn't really have anything else in here. Yes, because Yomi had a bunch of guys. But this doesn't take into account kills that we had on our Pretender, which is 900, which is funny. Colossus definitely did a lot of heavy lifting for us this game. Yeah. When I designed this, I wasn't aware how strong a Colossus is. No, I wasn't aware of that it's actually a pretty meta pick. But I guess I know that now. I was also not aware of how strong Arco is. I've since then looked at some rankings from the community, and Arco is like one of the top tiers according to that. Which, I mean, I don't know exactly how. I think I didn't really play it that well. It was mostly just the Colossus doing stuff, and then Golems, I guess. But they do have pretty good research. They do have pretty good paths. They also have, I mean, the Wind Riders are cool, but I never really felt like they were that strong. Quite expensive, but they are flying cavalry, which is very strong. I think the bless that I had for them was kind of bad, but what I got in turn was the Colossus and pretty good scales. So I don't think this necessarily was a bad design I ended up with, but it's just leaned less on the Wind Riders. And I also lost a lot of them just all over the place to poor play. So and I was never really in like a big battle. It's kind of boring, I guess, but I mean, sure. It ended up not needing it. And when you're this far ahead on research, I guess it doesn't really matter. Just use golems. Yeah, I guess that's the game. TNN ended up looking bigger than I think initially expected. Yeah. And also kind of come back. Maverny also ended up being kind of a player in the game. I was talking to Ross on the Discord, and he said that he was planning to attack me, but he was too late, obviously. Van was already attacking, and Maverny was dropping his net with me, so he would have probably also attacked. Towards the end, like the last few turns, a lot of people messaged me being concerned about me throne rushing, and I just kind of ignored everyone. I didn't want to say I didn't want to lie, right? It's just saw no reason to it, because I didn't know no one could stop me anyway. With the naps that we had, I think Van had a chance if he landed this army on the turn that the war started, and he had more troops here to take down the fort. He could have stopped it. I mean, there's also other thrones on our border. This one down here, and this one is kind of close, I guess, not quite. But he could definitely have taken this one, I think. and should have. That would have prolonged the game to the point where Maverny and Ross could have come in. And I'd actually have to fight a proper war. Which, honestly, I kind of hoped that would have happened. Would have led to a more interesting game. But, I mean, okay. Sure. Yeah. That's kind of the game, I guess. I am looking for new games, but there's not really much going on in the discourse that I'm looking at. I think it's that Dominion's 6 being half a year away is kind of stopping people from making new games. So there might be a break for a while, unless I find something. I'll try to have a look around and see what happens. But yeah, I guess that is the game. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another playthrough or turn report someday. I do want to make more of these. They're not that much effort for me, and it's kind of fun. So yeah, I would like to hear some feedback on if you prefer me going through the entire turn or keeping it shorter, because initially one of my goals was to keep it to like 5 to 10 minutes at most, and then quite often it ended up being like 20 minutes. Some of those I would re-record, but for the most part I just said sure and uploaded it anyway. So if you prefer to keep it shorter, please let me know. But yeah, I'll have a look and see if I can find another game. So for now, see you until then.